lake moja hapa.
Yeah, I'm waiting for everybody to be ready. You tell me when you're ready so that we do it all together. Ready? Now, you know the reasons why the court could not proceed with the matter this morning. But our take is that the constitutional order in Kenya is being overturned. These are no ordinary circumstances. It does not just begin with the court, it begins with the Electoral Commission itself. If you look at the proceedings that are before the court, the affidavit that has been sworn on behalf of the Electoral Commission is by the vice chair of the commission. And the chairman of the commission has not filed any affidavit or anything in support or against the proceedings this morning. It is a clear indication that the Electoral Commission is operating without the input of the chairman. Mr. Chebukati has become a passenger in the commission. And we have read in extenso the affidavit sworn by the vice chair. And that vice chair, she is purported to be the deputy national returning officer, which is illegal in itself. So the first constitutional body that has been disabled by way of conduct of the Jubilee government and the party is the Electoral Commission itself. It is a belief that what is left of the commission is not capable in law and under the Constitution to run any election. And then, to our surprise, the Chief Justice could not mobilize a quorum. And I think the lack of quorum on the part of the Supreme Court is not by coincidence or is not by accident. The gazettement of the 25th of October as a public holiday was part of the design to make sure that these proceedings would not take place. But when the Chief Justice made the order that the proceedings will continue anyway, there was an attempt on the life of the Deputy Chief Justice. And if you don't believe me that it was an attempt on his life, she was not here this morning, which means the events of last night must have deeply traumatized her. The two judges, the dissenting judges in the petition that was earlier had in relation to the presidential elections, the two of them were not available. So all in all, there is an attempt to undermine the authority of the institutions of government, including independent institutions like the Electoral Commission and the Supreme Court. But that is not the end of the matter, because the High Court has this morning given a ruling or a judgment that the appointment of all the returning officer and the deputy returning officers in all the constituencies as gazetted is illegal, which means as we speak now, there are no competent persons, legally competent persons, to preside over the presidential elections in the 291 constituencies, because the other constituency caters for the diaspora. And these acts of intimidation have gone beyond the court, beyond the Electoral Commission. In the last 48 hours, there have been attacks, arrests, and detention of various personalities in the opposition, Dr. Halwale being one of them, Governor Kingi in the coast, Senator Mazayo, and quite a number of other people who have to seek safety or get bail, anticipatory bail during this period. So it is really a sad day for Kenya, but if the commission there goes on with the election tomorrow, purported elections tomorrow, it will be an illegality ab initio because of lack of competence. Because elections are held, presidential elections are held at the constituency. And there will be no competent returning officers at the constituency level. And as NASA's lawyers, we are telling all constitutional bodies and organs, and now the Electoral Commission, what is left of it, that it will be illegal and unconstitutional for them to move ahead with the elections, purported elections tomorrow. But you know, our candidate has withdrawn, and NASA as a coalition will not take part in bogus and fraudulent elections. In conclusion, we wish to sympathize and express our disappointment and regret with what happened to the Deputy Chief Justice yesterday. We wish that she recovers from this violent attack, which was clearly aimed at her, but which unfortunately got her driver, who, as we speak now, I think some people are saying probably he may have passed on, but if that is not the case, we wish that driver a quick recovery. Kenya has never been in this situation, even during the colonial times, in such a state of confusion surrounding an election. And I think Chebukati can't be the solution because he's the returning officer in the presidential elections. I think he should come out today, now, and say the environment and the state of preparedness on the part of IEBC cannot translate into a free and fair elections. And we support him by his election not to be party to what the commission was prepared to say this morning to the court, and to the fact that he had not filed any responses to the application of the petition, which has been filed by the petitioners, which means, in a way, is an acceptance of the allegations and the avowals which have been made in the petition that was to be heard this morning.
On the one hand,
and okay.
On the one hand is a group of Kenyans, about the ones who voted for Kenyatta, who say the electoral cycle must come to an end, that the country is tired, 700 billion shillings lost up to now. Then there is this case, which of course has collapsed, and your party would say much more could have been done before tomorrow. So which way, Kenya, in your opinion?
I mean, the way forward is to go by the Constitution and the law. The date 26th is not written in the Constitution and the law. We still could have gone up to the 1st of November. The fact that they're insisting that the elections must go on tomorrow, despite all the difficulties the country is experiencing, I think is a loud expression of the election on the part of the president and the Jubilee Party to have elections at their instance, not at the instance of the Electoral Commission. And I think the resultant effect of what has happened today and probably tomorrow is going to be felt, until, another 10 years. I don't think we're going to recover from what has happened today and what may happen tomorrow.
Court soon, immediately after the elections?
Well, no, this matter is still in court, the one which was filed today. So probably the petitioners may want to take a date. And obviously, riding on the decision the High Court has made today, that there are no returning officers, competent returning officers in place, it would render any election, until that matter is regularized, to be illegal.